As we say goodbye to 2015, we're all hoping for a prosperous new year. In fact, as we mentioned, many of us make resolutions to improve our finances. And for folks saving for their golden years, it's a good time for you to review your situation and make important changes. Here to help you do just that is Ohio's retirement coach Greg Taylor with Legacy Retirement Group. Welcome, Greg.
Well, it's good to be here. And you know what, the interesting one to me that you had up there was
falling
in love. Yeah, resolving to do that. Well, that seems like you're working way too hard.
We agree. We were talking about that just this morning, but you know, we wish folks luck who are endeavoring to fall in love this year. Now, a lot of folks are hoping to improve their finances. You know, this time of year, we look back at the year everything we accomplished.
Sure.
We look to the year ahead, and the same is true in financial planning, right?
That's exactly right. You want to make sure that everything's in line, that you're doing things correctly, and that your goals are on track.
And we have a few folks watching. See if you could help them out. One question is from Ernie in Lancaster. He says, I'm 57 and plans to retire in 5 years, but he's not sure if that's realistic or not. In various accounts, he has saved around $5. What does he need to know to allow him to decide that retirement date?
Well, first thing I would say to Ernie is you have to take inventory right now of how much risk you're taking, because if you're going to retire within 5 years, you can't afford for that $500,000 to become $400,000 or $300,000 if we would see a big correction because you're taking on too much risk. But besides that, assuming that you retire in 5 years, you need to know that you're going to be able to maintain your lifestyle. So if you're 57 right now, I think you said, well, 5 years would make you 62, so you would be eligible to start early Social Security benefits so that you could have income there, and then you could generate probably in the neighborhood of $20,000 to $25,000 a year comfortably from $500,000 of savings. So you have to ask yourself, is that enough to be able to maintain the kind of lifestyle you're looking to maintain when you retire?
Okay, another viewer question, Gina in Grandview. She says, my husband recently moved money into a variable annuity because his broker told him it would be a safe place for his money as he gets closer to retirement. Now, I have heard others say this is not true. Who do I believe?
Well, you have to understand there's a lot of different kinds of annuities out there. There's fixed annuities, there's fixed indexed annuities, there's what some refer to as hybrid annuities, and you have variable annuities. But typically, with a variable annuity, you're putting your money in what they call a sub-account, which is essentially like a mutual fund within a variable annuity, which will go up when the market goes up and down when the market goes down. The kicker here is you're paying extra fees for things like death benefit guarantees and sometimes income benefit guarantees, things like that that are built into a variable annuity. But to say that it's safe, anytime you're in the stock market, it's not necessarily safe. You just have some safety nets maybe built in, but you're paying a lot for those. In our practice, we really don't use variable annuities, but that's one of the things that a lot of the brokers do use today.
All right, and a final viewer asks, Brenda in Westerville, she says, I recently found a copy of my will and couldn't believe it was 22 years old. I realize it's time to update my documents. Is there anything else I need to know before I start this tedious process?
And you know, it doesn't have to be a tedious process really, but it's not uncommon for someone's, you know, the estate planning documents, if they even have them at all, to be 15, 20, 25 years old, because we don't really wake up in the morning thinking, oh, I just really need a new will today. Right? But there's things that you do need to have in place. You need to have a durable power of attorney for financial assets, whether it be your spouse or maybe a secondary would be a child or someone else you trust, a healthcare durable power of attorney, something like a permanent HIPAA waiver, things like that that are beneficial, what we call ancillary documents. But understand, if you have a will, everything that passes through your will is still going to pass through the probate process. And most people think when they have a will that they're not going to go through probate, which is absolutely not true. In fact, the definition of probate is proving your will to be true and valid. So you can use either beneficiary designations on everything that you have, even your checking account, your home, or you can have a trust and title things into the trust and avoid probate that way.
Okay, Greg, thank you for the
You're very welcome.
Thank you for the advice. And stick around if you will. We're going to talk more into the year stuff coming up next. Speaking of the end of 2015, perfect time to check your retirement goals. Are they on track? Your end of the year checklist is coming up next.